Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Chandra and I'm here to talk about all things writing, maybe a little bit of reading too. We'll see. Today's video is about writing write-ins and sprints. What are they? Where can you find them? Why do I love them so much? And if you watched my last video, I talk a little bit about that at the end, how that's something that is on my my goals to participate in at least one per month for the year of 2021. So I figured before 2021 gets here, I should probably talk a little bit about what that is. So the first thing, what are sprints? So I'll actually link somewhere around here to a writing sprint setup, but what it is basically, it's kind of like a tomato timer, or if you use the app Forest, which I'll leave links to those in the description. But it's just a specific set of time that you are going to use for intense focus. I will probably also link an article about intense focus and why you should be using that in the description as well. But basically you can set just whatever the amount of time is, and then for that amount of time you're doing the thing, whatever the thing is. So yeah, that is what a sprint is. It's just that specific set of time. When it starts, you start your thing. When it stops, you stop. You can take a break, and then you can go into another sprint, or maybe you wrap up, or maybe that's all the time you have. Who knows? But there's different ways of doing it. So, 2, what is a write-in? A write-in would be, I don't know if this is done in person. I mean, I guess everything now is done digitally, but the only times that I've actually seen this done have been digitally. So if you guys have been to one in person, please let me know. It's been a long 2020. I haven't been out of the house much. A write-in, basically everyone will join. A lot of it's been virtual, like I said. So you would log into this, and then everyone will like have some chit chat, whatever the case may be. You declare what your goal is for the sprint, and then everyone settles in and does the sprint collectively. It's usually like quiet time. Maybe you'll listen to some music while you do it, and then you write for that. When the sprint is up, everyone says how they did on their goal. So you can go, if you're having a write-in may have multiple sprints in it, or it could just be like, there's a 15-minute sprint and that's the only activity, and then everyone's like, ta-ta, this has been fun. It really just depends on who the host is. Where can you find these? So a lot of writers and authors and AuthorTube peoples have been posting these. I specifically went to one from Jenna Morassi and from Misha Garrick. Both of those were phenomenal experiences. That's when I was just like, yes, I need more of this in my life, and that's how it ended up on my goals. I found that I was a lot more productive. I learned a lot from hearing what other people were talking about accomplishing, and I didn't feel like I was slogging through a never-ending pile of sludge by myself. It was very encouraging. It's also nice to have people celebrate with you. So if you feel alone in your writing, or you feel isolated, or you feel distracted, it can be nice to get some of everyone else's focused energy and to help pull you into that same vibe. I love it for that. So I will also link to the people that you can follow, and maybe I'll put a playlist of, I will put a playlist for some sprints, like some sprint timers maybe, and then like some people who have hosted, and you can maybe even look at some of their old ones, because it usually stays on their channel. So they can be very long, they can be hours, or they can be shorter. You can just stay for as long as you are able to commit. It really just depends what works for you. What do I personally like about write-ins and writing sprints? The networking, the accountability, and the community. It helps me to know, like, hey, like I said that I was gonna do this to 5 people. Maybe it's 100 people in the sprint, maybe it's a couple hundred people, depends on where you're going. They know if I dip out and don't come back and don't say, hey, I did the thing that I said I was gonna do. It's good for the accountability. There's community, because in between you get to chit chat, you get to meet new people, you get exposed to different ideas. If you find someone you're like, oh, I like what you're writing about or what you're working on during the sprint, can you tell me more? It's really nice for that. So that gives you the community and the accountability and the opportunity to network. sometimes you get, if you have a channel or you have social media or you have a place where you share your writing, some of them may be interested, you may get some new followers, or maybe you'll start following new people who inspire you more. Either way, it's a win. The other thing that I like about them, there was something else that I was going to say. I think my brain got deleted. I don't know. If it comes back to me, I'll leave it in the comments or the description or something like that. Do you have to write in writing sprints? No, you don't. You can write, but you can really do anything that you want to. Anything that you're having a hard time completing on your own, it's a really good opportunity to collaborate and get that done. Some of the things that I worked on in sprints, I actually have done some writing in sprints. That's actually a link to one of my other videos where I talk about how much time does it actually take to write. The first writing sprint that I was able to participate in, I couldn't stay for the whole write-in because I had another meeting to go to, but I was there for about an hour, so I got to chit chat with people, see what the conversation was about, and then participate in a 15-minute writing sprint. In that sprint, I wrote more than 550 words. That was the first time I really actively timed it, and that was just in 15 minutes. So writing doesn't necessarily take as much time as you think it does, and if you can find a way to connect a little bit more, it can actually make it quite a bit easier to get the amount of writing done, especially if you set yourself a daily goal. Some of the other things that I've done in writing sprints, I've actually worked on planning. So if I needed, I actually was like working on some scheduling, some things that I needed to get done throughout the month. And it was a good way for me to be in there. And I was just like, hey everyone, I'm here, I'm working on some planning stuff. Maybe I will write a little bit as well. Cool, so everybody knows what I'm working on. And then I sat down and I planned out, actually I was planning videos. This might have been one of the videos on that planning thing. So it was super helpful. I ended up getting through all of my planning a lot faster than I thought I was going to. And then I ended up working on some poetry. So I had just a couple lines of poetry that came to me. And I was actually in the middle of working on something else. And I just went ahead and I had my original, I have my original notes. These are my original notes that like just popped into my head. So I wrote all that down. I didn't have time to write through it. So then when I was doing this writing sprint, I came back, I sketched it all out, I filled it out, I started moving parts of the poem around, and at the end of the one of the sections, I completed the poem and transcribed it into my computer and done the first edit on it. So I did that, and then I was like, oh, I got all the things down on my to-do list today. So then after that, I used the rest of the writing sprint as some time for me to read. So I had my book nearby, and I just grabbed my book and said, hey, I finished all my stuff, so now I'm going to read, and then at the end of each sprint, I would just post how many pages I finished reading during that sprint. So sprints are super versatile, and it can be a lot of fun just to make sure you have that dedicated time to work on whatever is most important to you. I know some people even use it for studying or as like a cleaning timer if they're working around their house. You still want to hang out with the people that you talk to online. This is a really good way to do that as well. What do I work on in the sprints? I went over some of the things that I worked on in sprints in the previous point, but really it can be anything. And if you are wanting to carve out more time to read, if you're wanting to carve out more time to write, or if you know that there's something like big looming task that you're kind of dreading, doing that in a writing sprint where there's a community to support you may be a really great idea. So that is all I have in this video as far as writing sprints and write-ins and what they are. I hope this was helpful for you. If so, leave a comment, comment, subscribe, whatever. Do the things. Write this.